His Excellency Mr. Reagan, please.
Thank you, Laurence. Make sure I'm on. My mic is good. Yes, it is. Thank you, Laurence. Il est bon de vous revoir. And hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me or allowing me to join you today. A lot of things have changed. This assembly is a little different today. It also comes at the end of a year that all of us are happy to put behind us. A year that exposed deep divisions in our society, that challenged and hurt businesses, workers, communities, whole industries. So as we work together to protect and vaccinate our populations and rebuild our economies, we must keep supporting workers and businesses and keep fighting climate change. Combating climate change is the challenge and the opportunity of our post-COVID recovery. There's no question about the need to address this threat. The only question is how. How do we meet our needs? How do we power our cities, power our towns, heat our homes, grow our economy while lowering emissions? These questions are difficult, but they are ones that we need to answer. For Canada, the work is already underway. It starts with building our clean energy future, not just to combat a changing climate, but to ensure our energy security, strengthen our economic competitiveness, and create good, sustainable jobs for Canadians. The markets are changing. Investors from around the world are increasingly making clear choices. They're putting their money into businesses, industries, and jurisdictions that are taking meaningful climate action. And they're divesting from those that, in their view, are not. So let's harness that momentum of the marketplace, now that it's responding, so that we can create a more sustainable and more prosperous future for our planet, for our fellow citizens, for our children and our grandchildren, which is why we're here. In Canada, we've just unveiled an ambitious new chapter to our climate plan. It's the most robust climate strategy in our nation's history, aimed at not just meeting, but beating our 2030 Paris targets and becoming a net zero nation within 3 decades. To get there, we're more than tripling the price that we put on pollution over the next 10 years, phasing out coal-fired electricity by the end of this decade, and injecting an initial $15 billion to support the things that we need to achieve a net zero future, including new sources of clean energy, which are the fastest growing form of power generation in Canada, new solar, wind, and biomass installations in more than 100 remote and Indigenous communities to reduce their reliance on diesel fuel, a national action plan for small modular reactors, a national strategy for hydrogen, the completion of our first geothermal project, the advancement of tidal power, and more hydropower here where I am in Atlantic Canada that will take this entire region off of coal. We're also helping to fund retrofits so that our people's homes and buildings are not just more comfortable, but they're more affordable to power. Advancing industrial decarbonization, supporting zero emission vehicles and the necessary charging and fueling stations, electrifying our gas sector, and adopting nature-based solutions like planting 2 billion trees, putting our planet's own lungs to work for a cleaner future. And as we use the power of innovation and the fight against climate change as the springboard for our recovery, we must ensure that we've learned the lessons of a pandemic that has exposed the vulnerabilities in our societies. A century of clean growth that fails to take account of these vulnerabilities or create new ones will not meet the test of history. So, as many of you heard me say this before, no one can be left behind. Energy workers, their families, the energy producing regions of our countries here in Canada, here in my home, the province of Newfoundland and Labrador, they must be included every step of the way. People must be at the center of the economic recovery. If our citizens don't feel included, they could slow down or frankly halt the momentum that we are creating here. But where they are included, that momentum to a cleaner, brighter, more prosperous future will be unstoppable. Canada sees that IRENA is central to all this. It's central to building our clean energy future, central to advancing broader socioeconomic benefits such as gender equality and inclusiveness, and central to bringing clean energy to people living without it. And we want to help lead the way. So we're funding new ways to develop new sources of energy and new technologies, as well as creating financing facilities and opportunities